Yo, 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 yo.
Yo.
What is good? It's your boy Ness, friends of the program, season 2. And yo, season 2 is coming to an end. 20 episodes in, man. First of all, I want to thank all you guys for always hitting me up after every show, comments, all of that, man. I appreciate you guys for locking in with me. Yo, I'm so happy to have my boy here. He's like my little brother.
Yes,
I've known him not even that long, maybe 6 months or so, but in the 6 months that we've gotten to know each other, we've already worked together, and we share a lot of ideas back and forth. It's so dope because he's a part of something huge here in the AV. Let me welcome you guys to my boy Wes from AV Alta. Thank you, bro, for coming on.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. And yo, before we get the convo going, we started something new. Mike's gonna play the beat, and if you got a quote, you got a whatever saying you want to rap, whatever you want to do, man, you're gonna do it to the beat. He's gonna play it, and it's all yours, man. The mic is all yours. All right.
Say rapping for the second time around.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. So the quote I'm going with is with the man that unfortunately couldn't be here today. Our head of partnerships at AV Alta FC, Panchito Ramirez. He always says, you can't be what you can't see. And I feel like that quote is super powerful. And it always gives me motivation to continue to go hard and, be that person that someone's looking for inspiration and just continue to always put the work in.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Panchito.
Shout out to Panchito.
Yeah, man, it's his birthday today.
His birthday, he's turning up right now.
He's turning up, man. It's all good. So, let's get to it, man. I do want to jump into, like, how you came about, working for AV Alta. But before that, man, like, let me find out a little bit about you. Were you born out here?
Yeah. I was born at, AV Hospital.
Oh, shit. Desert Rat.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
From day one. So I was born in 1997. My parents had been out here for, I think, maybe 2-3 years. They moved from El Salvador to LA and then from LA to over here.
Okay.
My
brother.
Similar story to you.
You know what's crazy, man, is you say 1997 you were born, bro. I graduated high school in 92. Damn. I like every episode I keep feeling like older and older, man. Damn, that's what's up though. So you've been out here this whole time.
Yep. So I went elementary, middle school. I went to high school at Court Hill.
Okay.
And then went away for college a little bit, and then came back, and I've been back ever since.
Did you play sports?
Yeah,
as a kid?
I played soccer. So my family, my brother played too, and he was actually a part of the first club, or one of the first clubs that started out here called AV Sharks.
Okay.
So then when I was growing up, it was instant. Like I did 1 year of AYSO, and then they were like, "You're going to club." And then I played there my entire life. I played in high school, and then I played pretty high level too. I at one point I even had to go to LA. I was driving 3 times a week to play for this club called LA Premier, and just really trying to make it out. And at that, in the end, I pretty much had to choose between academics or continuing and going the college route and also playing soccer, and I ended up just choosing academics.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. And I heard you say you went to college?
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
So I went to West LA College, and then originally actually I went to Fullerton College for my first year when I got out of high school, and then I did about a year there, and then I took some time off of school and then went back and finished at West LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. And so, with AV Alta being, fairly new, how did the whole connection come about with you working for them?
So one day I was just chilling at the crib, and I got a phone call from my friend Robert Castellanos, who plays for Sporting Kansas City in the MLS. And me and him have we played together when we were young, and we played really competitively high level club out here for maybe like 5-6 years. So we've stayed in touch since then, and he's known all the merch and all the design stuff that I was doing out here. And he was like, yo, I just met with this guy, and he's saying that he's bringing a club out here. And he was telling me about, you know, how can I get connected to the community and how can I just make this thing authentic? And I told him about, you know, the 661 shop and all the merch that you've been making. And I told him that you guys should, you know, link up. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, that sounds dope. Yeah, pass my information. And then, dang, maybe 2-3 months go by, and then I don't hear anything. And then finally, all of a sudden, I get a call from this guy named William Ortiz. And he's like, hey, man, like, can you meet tomorrow at Don Sal's? He's like, the owner wants to meet you. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I pull up, and then it's the owner, William Ortiz, and then Panchito Ramirez, the guy that I shouted out in the beginning. And I'm like, wait, what the heck? Because
Was it the event they had that day or
no, this was before. This was just like
that.
a lunch. And then I'm like, wait, Panchito, you're here because Panchito also started a nonprofit where he was mentoring kids in the Antelope Valley and helping them get college scholarships. And he had contacted me to be a mentor. So we had already kind of been talking as well. So then when I got there, I was like, oh, dang, wait, what? Like, what are you doing here? And then we just talked. I told John about how I make the merch, but then also I just had a background in creative production. I can produce any, you know, social assets and just anything involved in running a company. I can make anything pretty much, you know? So did you
go to school for that?
I technically, but not on purpose. You want to get into that?
Yeah.
So I was in college originally, and I wanted to be a doctor. And then I took one.
Did you want to be a doctor because of your parents, or you wanted to be a doctor because of
you? It was. I mean, I've always wanted to excel. Like, I think before then it was always pro soccer player. I want to be a pro soccer player. That was my dream. And then once I was like, okay, I'm gonna do academics, and I think always trying to shoot high. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be a doctor, but I'm gonna be an anesthesiologist because they're like the top of the line, you know.
Yeah.
So I was just always like trying to be the highest level in whatever I was trying to do. So I would just found it, and I was like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. I took one semester, and I was like, hell no, bro. I was like, no.
Yeah, man. I did the same thing, bro. Like, you know, because you want to make your parents proud, so you're like, all right, let me take some classes that are gonna get me somewhere to be something that my parents are gonna be proud of. And I did the same thing, bro. I don't know, I took an anatomy class or something, and I was like, this shit is not for me. I was like, nope, I'm done.
Exactly. So then after that, randomly, my elective class, I just chose music business. And in that class, I was like, wait, what? You can work in this? And, like, I had never, you know, had any technical training in music or, like, not a producer or anything. I'm like, oh, this is a way I can get into it. Because just as a kid, you know, I was, like, born and raised by hip-hop and being in it and loving the beats and finding the samples and downloading music from LimeWire and crashing my parents' computer, you know? Right. So I felt like music was always a huge inspiration. It was always music and soccer when I was growing up. So then in college, I was like, oh, dang, I could work in this? Yeah, no, I think this is something I want to do. And I told my parents, yeah, I'm switching my major. It's music business now. And they were like,
what?
They were like, wait, what? What are you talking about, you know? Coming from El Salvador, they're not used to people doing really anything creative. I think it's like they came over here for me to be a doctor. They don't think you can make
money doing that.
Exactly, you know? So they were kind of confused a little bit. And because of that kind of friction of me being confused is what caused me to sort of stop going to school a little bit, because I was like, if they're not believing me now. And I think after a while I came to the conclusion, I was like, yeah, I think it's just an overall safer bet to just do business. So then I enrolled back in West LA College, where I did this program called Year Up. And it's a year developmental program where you do 6 months and you do business developmental training. So they teach you how to write emails and work in a business environment. And then it sets you up for a 6-month internship. And the internship that I got was at this tech company called Headspace, which is a meditation app. And the reason they put me there is because I was telling them, I want to do this music thing, blah, blah, blah. And then the description on the internship was being in the studio, but the actual role was a content producer. So then when they gave me the role, I was like, this isn't what I want to do. Like, yeah, it's being in the studio, but not really.
Right.
But little did I know that was going to set me off and put me in the position where I need to be now. And so, like I said, I didn't technically go in school on purpose, but because I went to school and got in that program, that's what shot me off in having a career in creative production in the creative space.
How did the designing come about, and how did 661? Because that's yours, right?
Yeah,
661. And I've seen that. I've seen it for a while, and I always wondered, like, man, I wonder who's doing this. And then I did see Paul George rocking the hat, I think even the hoodie or something. How did that come about?
So in college, because I was wanting to do music business, I had linked up with some homies who were out here who I'd known that were a little bit older than me. One of my big brothers, Devin Ross, my other homie Smokey, and they had always been making music. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to do this music stuff. I had contacted them, and I was like, yo, you guys are doing music. I'm trying to be a manager. And in that, I was like, damn, I don't really know what a manager is. I was just like, I guess doing whatever they need to do.
Just the title.
Like, yeah, we need, give me shows. And then from in that, I started getting more into the creative conception of stuff like, oh, this album cover, and we should do this video. And I think there, being in all of the creative space, just literally out of force, like, we need an album cover and we don't got bread to pay anybody. Like, I'm going to jump on and use some free editing tool online. And then that kind of sparked me just trying to learn one program and getting good at that, and then slowly going to Photoshop and then Illustrator and then pushing on. And I think it was just more out of necessity. I wanted to make stuff come to life, and I didn't have the money to pay somebody to do it.
Hey, man, that's how it happens sometimes. A lot of times that's how it happens. You don't have the funds, and so you have to do it.
Yeah,
Did you fall in love with it?
Yeah, I think at first, like I said, it was like album cover stuff, and then I started really, really like making funny memes, like photoshopping my homies' faces, and then there is when I really started, because I got into the Photoshop program, like watching YouTube videos and like doing, I think all of the funny stuff really got my skills really sharp. So then once me and my big bro Devin were like, yo, we want to create this brand and do stuff, I think I had enough knowledge that now at this point, if I wanted to make something and I watched a YouTube video, like I had been playing in the program enough to do something, and then actually designing it and then seeing it come out into a hat and embroidered is like the craziest feeling ever. It's like you really created something from scratch.
And then not only that, but seeing someone when you're out somewhere, someone that paid for a hoodie, and you're like, oh shit, I don't even know that person, and they're rocking my hoodie or my hat, right?
It's insane. My sister's a big old USC fan, and she had gone to a game when they were playing in Ohio, and she was tailgating in Ohio, and some guy walked out with this hat in our like USC color, or it's like a red color. My sister was like, my brother made that hat, and he's like, what? Like, I lived in Palmdale for a little bit, but I live in Ohio now, and I ordered it. And she's like, what? Like, like in another state. World, yeah, it's just insane. Dope. It's the coolest feeling. I still, till this day, if I design something and see it come to life, it's like a
That's
high.
like the best feeling, man, ever. When you take it from like concept all the way for it to be created, and it's like exactly what you envisioned. That's like the best feeling ever, man. When did you start 661?
So I think we started 661 maybe in, I would say 2019, 2020. And it really all started off at my big homie Devin. He's also a designer, photographer, videographer. He has a little bit better skills. He went to school for it as well. And he was always been into doing creative things, like making music and, like I said, doing the album artwork and the video stuff. And we were just sitting around one day, and we were like, dude, like, the AV has no gear. Like, Palmdale got nothing that's, like, fresh for us, Right. And then we're like, yeah, we could do something. I think we a little bit inspired of those, like, I Love New York shirts, or, like, how you could just have a Dodgers or Los Angeles across the top and, the Los Angeles Times font. And, like, we have nothing like that. And then we started concepting. I think Devin knew this calligraphist in San Francisco, and we contracted him and started concepting different lettering for this Palmdale font. And we got to this one that we finally really liked. Mm-hmm. And then we started going hard on Alibaba.
Oh, damn.
Messaging everybody, like trying to get samples. I'm like, I need to know all the different types of hats, the styles, the builds, the fabric that you can use. If you can use a metal clip or a leather clip in the back, and just really learning the game of hat customization, because if we were gonna come out with a product, we wanted it to be good quality and make sure that we took the time and just didn't. It's not something that you could just go and get at the gas station, you know. Yeah. So I think from then on, we launched our first hat that was this green corduroy. Actually, not even a real launch. We just made it for ourselves, and we're like, "This is a dope hat." We posted it on Twitter, and it got hella retweets, hella likes, and started going crazy. Like, how could we buy this? So then that's when we were like, damn, we should just do a bulk order and produce it. And we produced it, got them all off, and then we built the website and then started concepting and then creating all of the new styles.
Yeah, how'd you guys get it to PG?
Dev, my big homie Devin, he's a little bit older than me, so he had a connection with someone who is really good friends with PG.
Okay.
And he shot him a message and was like, "Yo, we're from the city. We're trying to, do something cool and have something cool to rep." And he's like, "Yeah, send it our way." We sent it to him. He's like, "I no promises, we don't know if we can get it to him."
Right.
And then all of a sudden they just post the Lexus looks for the LA Clippers, pregame fits.
Oh, man.
And we're just like, "Whoa," we're like geeked out of our minds. Like couldn't believe it. And then from then on, we just continually shot him new samples, and he wears our stuff in his podcast. And I have a friend who's a videographer and big NBA shooter. His name is Sean, and he always shoots Clippers games, and he always wears our hats too. So he's like, when PG sees them out on the court, they're just kind of like, hey, like, it's like a little secret society. They know that they're both from the dirt, and it's so cool that he's really, out there. And
yeah, it just sucks, man. They couldn't fucking work out a deal for him to stay.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Like hometown kid, man. Like, damn. But it is what it is. Yo, fast forward. Okay, so you're doing your merch. AV Alta, right? Mm-hmm. You say you get a phone call. How did that meeting go?
So we sat down, and I think John was really...
At this point, was it just an idea, or was it already something that was going to happen?
It was still a concept. It was, he was showing me, like, the stadium renderings and what it's kind of looked like. So I know he had gotten pretty far, and he was already in talks with the city. So I knew it had the possibility to be real.
Okay.
From what he was saying, and he gave me the whole presentation.
How long ago was this?
This was about a year and 4 months.
Okay, so it's moving kind of fast.
No, man.
Like right after that, because
they're
moving fast right now.
So when he talked to me, I think maybe a month later the city approved it and they voted and passed it through. But in that meeting, I told him about the hats and what I do. And he was more kind of like, yeah, when we launch, you can create the lifestyle brand and do the merch. But like I said, I had done that program and got into content production. And so at the same time I'm doing all my hat stuff, I'm also working in tech and doing, the meditation. And then I went to this other company and did a rebrand. And then I, jumped to this other company who was doing creative strategy and creative production at a pretty high level. So I'd gained a good amount of knowledge of just the most efficient way to creatively produce anything, And in that meeting, I told him, like, yeah, man, I could do whatever you need. You need banners, you need whatever. Because at that point, my design skills were up because I'd been doing all the hat stuff. And it just felt like all of my preparation was like meeting this moment. And I was like, I could do anything you need. And I will be around. You don't got to pay me. Whatever you need, just hit me up and I'm going to be here. Damn. And he was just like, okay, yeah, all right. Like, well, And I think he was like trying to feel me out in the beginning a little bit. I just kept showing up and I was like, hey, what do you guys need? What do you need designed? I was making banners for them. And then he was like, yeah, well, once they voted it through, we had our first ever announcement party right here on the boulevard. Not the huge one, the first one where we just had it at Don Sal's. And I produced these USL AV shirts with the 661 logo on the sleeve.
I seen them.
And it says One Valley, One Club on the back. So I produced all that and then produced all of the marketing materials for the event and helped run all the merch stuff. And from then on, I just kind of was a part of the team and a part of it creatively.
What's your position at AV Alta now?
Now I'm the head of marketing and brand. So at that time, he had brought me on as just the head of brand. And over the months of working and me just putting the grind in, I built this series highlighting some of our AV legends who've come out of the city and just telling the people the reason why the team is here and why we're such a soccer city. I also created another series called Hometown Hustle where I highlighted your wife and you guys here at Poppy and all of the dope stuff that you guys do and just really highlighting people out here hustling because we got so many people doing dope stuff.
Yeah.
And at this moment, we don't have a team or players or anything really football related. So it's like you got to just find a way to connect with the community. And I felt telling our story, people here now, was the absolute best way that we could do it. So that was me as head of brand. And then we launched the team, and in that time, we were doing the logo development and the colors and all of the, conceptual stuff behind. And we launched, and after the launch, I saw having 2,000 people out here, everyone cheering when the logo was revealed. Yeah. I think that night I was just like, I think I want to be part of this. And not only just be part of it, I want to, have a big part of it. And then I told John, like, hey, I know this role's open, and I think I could really do it. And he was like, I think you can do it too. And he even told me, he's like, I never thought that we would like get you, he's like, I thought that we weren't going to make it happen, but he said he was like conniving in the back to get me the whole time. He wanted me for the position. Yeah. So it was nice. Like I said, I felt like all my preparation met this moment, and it was just like, poof.
What's crazy is that like all the different things, like, you going to school, you doing this, you doing that, like, all of that prepared you for this moment. Mm-hmm. And then the opportunity was there, and then you took it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you showed what you, like, you showed your skills, and obviously, he approved, and that's why you're on board. How soon, like, how far back did you know, like, before us, right? Like, how far back did you know what the name was going to be, the logo, the colorway, and all that?
I knew probably, I would say maybe 4 months before we launched. So we were working with the designer, and we flew him out here. We had community sessions and asked people what are the things that represent the AV to you. We had a giant like fabric sheet with all of these little hex codes and all the color combinations across the board. And we gave stickers to people and told them to put it on colors that they feel represent us. People were drawing Joshua trees. People were drawing the B-2 bomber as inspiration. So we worked with the designer after doing all those sessions. The first few rounds of the logo, we were like, we weren't feeling it too much. And then we started getting a little bit closer and closer to this one that we have here. And I think in the end, like almost about 4 months is when we solidified everything. But the name came first, for sure. It was, we all knew. And as soon as we heard Alta, we're like AV Alta, and it's Latin for high because we live in the high desert. And we
California, too, was like, it was named
Alta, California, this region that we live in as well. And then, of course, we have a bunch of planes, and Latin also means elevated and being in the sky in the aerospace industry here. It just felt like it made sense. So we were like, okay, we got Alta, but now what is it? And I think at first all of us were thinking we want the Joshua tree and in there and stuff. But as you know, some production stuff with the spikes in the Joshua tree, it's hard to get it in there, and it being so small and the embroidery. And so we were like, okay, how do we still embody the Joshua tree? And we kind of had a creative workaround with using the colors of it and using that as the inspiration, not necessarily going with it in the crest.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times I feel like that works out a lot better. It's more universal. It's like, McDonald's ain't going to use a hamburger in their logo because they sell burgers. Like, it's just, you come up with something creative. And I think, too, like reading like the brand guide, the way they designed the font, with the angles, like for the B2 and all that, you could tell like there was some work put into it and some thought. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. The one thing that threw me off a little bit in the beginning when I saw the badge was how off-centered that little that little opening is, right? Mm-hmm. On top. I was like, why'd they do that? Like I wasn't really like, and I'm pretty good at like saying I know why they did that. Mm-hmm. And until I read the brand guide, and it's like a silhouette of a poppy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, that's dope. Yeah, and it makes sense too because it cuts like the AV and Alta. Like it's like it goes into that space.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like we might be going into a little design nerd talk, but like that was a big thing that we were talking about was that reading it just without the dip, people might say Avalta, and you know, so the dip was the final workaround that I think everybody collectively was like, okay, once we put the dip in, it was like, this is enough. We don't have the Joshua tree, but we pack so much symbolism, even though it looks simple and sleek. With even in the simplicity and the sleekness, we packed in so much symbolism. And like he said, we got the exact angles of the B-2 bomber to make all of the letters, and we used the font, the same angles to create the font, and including the poppy there because we have the huge California poppy reserve, as people know. So I think we tried to make something minimalistic because, as you know, that's like the design style that's going on now. Everyone's going into stripping everything down, but also making sure that we represent the Valley the right way.
Right. What is your goal, you know, as a head of marketing? What is your goal, let's say, in the next, 2-3 years, as far as the brand goes? What are you trying to do? And by the way, like I've been watching those videos, the video out in the desert with the horse.
Yeah.
Like that's dope. Like to me, it was dope because it was something that had nothing to do with like soccer. It was just something, but we're out here in the desert and it was just like, it gave me goosebumps, like watching it. And I know you're a big part of that production, but what is your goal like moving forward in the next 2-3 years with the brand?
I think for me, just like you said, like watching that horse video, and it has nothing to do with soccer, and just imagine somebody scrolling through their feed and seeing that and seeing the Joshua tree and seeing like, this is my city. Mm-hmm. Like my city is on here.
You watch movies and you're like, oh shit, Joshua trees, that's my city.
Exactly, like and the same thing, the same reason why we created the 661 shop, like I want something that represents us that we're, happy about, and we all want to rep, and like, yeah, this is us, and you watching that and you getting chills and being like, yeah, this is my city. I have this weird vision of like, when you say a goal, it's like somebody in the airport wearing an AV hat, being like, hey, what is that? Be like, check this out. Look at my city. Like, look at all of the dope stuff we do. We have a soccer team. We have a guy running around a Joshua tree, riding a horse, and I just want people to feel happy and proud that they got something and that it's actually cool and culturally relevant and rooted in ideas from people who are actually born and raised here. My whole entire creative team is born and raised in the AV, so all our ideas are AV ideas.
Yeah, and I think that's dope too, that you were born here, you were raised here, so you understand the AV to the fullest. So it made it a lot easier to make that transition into, designing something for the team based off the city.
Exactly, yeah.
The season starts next year, right? 2025?
2025 in March. We're actually ahead of schedule on the stadium construction. They got
That's hard
out
to
there
even,
working, bro.
Yo, you know what I need? I need some of those seats, man. I need some of those.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need like number 23 and number 24. However we could get a hold of those stadium seats, that's what I need.
No, we got to make it happen. And like, I think with the stadium construction, I know some people were sad about Jethawks and stuff leaving, but I just think it's going to be great for the city. It's going to be a new entertainment hub. It's going to be the thing that families hopefully want to do on the weekend and just have something dope here. Like I said, just something to be happy to.
Yeah, because like Jethawks, like the games were fun. Like you go to the game, you hang out with your family. It's not going to cost you a ton of money.
Yeah,
you watch some good baseball, and then it's local. You get to go home. You're home in 10, 15 minutes. What are you looking forward to the most, like the day that, like when that first game comes?
Honestly, I feel like I'm most excited to see all the other teams' reactions, to see what we got, and everyone in the league probably sitting back and being like, these guys are gonna take it. Like when I tell you now, our football staff knows what they're doing. These guys are putting in the work. Well, our team is gonna be so good, and
Do we have a team yet, or are we still in the mix, like trying to find players?
So this whole entire time, since a year, whatever ago, we've had like a football staff, a part of the team, and they've been in the shadows looking. They've identified some of the top players in the AV for our academy team, and they've just every day I walk by their office, they're looking at film, they're scouting. So in addition to holding tryouts here and wanting to get local talent, they're putting in the work to know. So that if we don't bring someone from here, that whoever we do bring in is the top talent possible. And we have prospects and stuff that they're always looking at, but no team is solidified yet.
Okay. And then I saw that you guys just recently did the jersey reveal, right? How was that?
It was good.
I know there was a ton of people at the event. How was it? How did people react to the jerseys?
Yeah, it was really cool. We wanted to do something creative and fun and cool. And most people, when they release a jersey, they just drop pics on IG, or some teams have a launch party where they do like a fashion show kind of thing. So it was sort of for us, or for me, like a creative strategy session. It was like, how do you take an event that's so, repetitive and do something cool with it? And we were thinking, what if we created this crazy animated timeline and it made this film and all this stuff, and we had this vision of the animated timeline being all of the city names and then that transitioning into the bottom of the jersey. So that was like our creative idea. Like, how do we make this animation blend in with like one of those cool product jersey reveal things? Mm-hmm. And from then on, that's when we were like, let's make it a film. And then from the film, we're like, let's rent out AVC Performing Arts Theater, and everything just kind of fell into place so perfectly. So that's what we ended up doing. We rented out the theater. On October 18th, we showed the film, and we had our sponsors give us commercials before, and then at the end of the film that you guys can go check on IG, it unveils the jersey, and everyone was clapping, and everyone was hyped, and it was so cool. Our supporters were standing up and cheering, like, "Who are we, 661?" So I felt like for the people who were there, and the 661 supporter groups are like our core. They're the heartbeat. Like, if anybody's opinion matters to us more than anything, is them. Like, they're the ones who are going to be there every single game, hitting the drums for 90 minutes, putting all their passion and bringing the energy to it.
Right.
Like, they were ecstatic and happy, and it was just amazing to make something that they're proud of, because they're following so closely in everything we do. So I feel like they're like the crowd that we're trying to make happy right now, and I feel like we did that.
Dope, man. That's what's up, man. Is that available? Is it available for us to?
It is available now,
on YouTube or something, or where can they watch that reveal?
The reveal, you guys can find it on our IG at avaltafc.com or at avaltafc, and then it's on our YouTube as well. So if you just type in AV Alta FC jersey reveal, you guys can find it there, and it's like a 7-minute video. But if you go and watch that video, you will get a sense of who we are, why we're here, and all of the things that had to happen to get to the point now when we're releasing the jersey. So if you want like a good summary, I would definitely recommend watching that video.
Dope. Yeah, even when you guys had the event here on the Boulevard, the logo reveal and the name and everything, the video you guys produced for that was great too, man. Showing the plane, showing the Joshua Tree, showing the people, and there was a lot of people out here, man, supporting. I think it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good for the city. I can't wait. 2025, right?
2020 March 2025.
What league is it?
So it's called the USL. So in America, we have two competing professional organizations. We have the MLS, which is LA Galaxy, LAFC, and all of the big guys, and they're Division I. And then you have the USL, which is a professional organization as well. Then they have USL Championship, which worldwide is Division II. And then we have USL League One, which we're playing in, which worldwide is Division III soccer.
Okay, so it's kind of like baseball, where it goes like majors and then the rest are.
Yeah, technically,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, all of our games are gonna be on ESPN, Hulu, CBS. So we're gonna be getting broadcasted, and it's an amazing opportunity for kids here to be able to have their games broadcasted and have people watch it wherever they can get ESPN.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's a dope feeling to know there's a professional team, like soccer team, because soccer's so big. globally now, but even here in the AV, like, building, 30, 40 soccer fields, having tournaments every weekend. Like, it's the soccer community is so huge out here. And, now us having a professional team is going to be that much doper, man.
We literally have the biggest soccer complex in the West Coast.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Like, we are, in our presentation, when we're telling people, like, we are a soccer town without a team. And we have so many teams, so many clubs, so many legends, like, generationally, and Sean Franklin and Kyle McClung and my brother's generation. We have Christian Diaz-Pato. And then mine, we have Robert Castellanos, who's playing for Kansas City. Another guy played with Eric Calvillo, is the captain of a USL championship team. So they're, like, top division. He's the captain for them. And then we have up-and-coming guys like Darwin Lopez, who just got a scholarship to UCI. And we have Jay Solo, who's balling up at CSUN right now. So it's like, we got the talent.
Yeah.
You go look at generationally at teams across the U.S., and in all of the ages, you have a team from California being in the top 5 across the U.S. Like, and probably Southern California. It's like Southern California, Texas, Florida are the big 3 in soccer in the U.S.
Damn, that's what's up. When it comes to merch, right, looking forward, like, what's your goal? Creating, like the concepts, creating the merch for AV Alta. What are you trying to do with it?
So I think me coming from, like, hip-hop, streetwear, hypebeast world, I think I'm value the crazy, cool, like, conceptual design. And I think we like to think outside the box a little bit. But with the professional organization, and we're just starting out, I think our first few lines were more about, like, let's get people familiar with our logo. Let's get familiar with people with our name and our color, and, get those, like, classic pieces out. And which I think is cool. But for me, I'm like, I'm ready to do the cool lifestyle. Like, I want to do the gothic fonts and really play with our brand and draw inspiration from the AV in cool, creative ways, and not just putting the logo on it. Like, right. I want to, maybe not put the Joshua tree on the chest, or we would create, like, a pattern that's sewn through it, or like doing cut and sew 101 pieces or satin jackets, and, like, really getting cool with it and starting to make the dope stuff that I feel like we would rock, whether it was a soccer team's merch or not,
Yeah.
So I think for me, my goal is like elevating it, and when someone in the league sees our stuff, they're like, that's just a hard jacket in general. Like, damn,
I ain't got to be from the city to get it.
Exactly.
That's what
like,
you want.
Sometimes I always think in scenarios, like I gave the scenario of the guy in the airport. It's like the same thing, like someone's like, damn, what is that? Like, you're scrolling on their phone, like seeing a picture and be like, damn, that's a hard shirt. Click and be like, wait, what? This is a soccer team? Like, this is a soccer team in the AV? Mm-hmm. Like, like, I want people to be like, what? This is cool. And whether they're from here or not, they just like the design.
Yeah. Dope, man. Speaking of merch, I create merch. I got my own brand. We're going to jump into this segment, I like to call 5 elements. It's like the elements that have built my brand. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you a question because I want to get your feedback. I want to get your ideas. I want to get your a little bit more of who you are based off of my questions. Being this is a professional organization, right? When it comes to business, and you being head of marketing, like, what is it that you would say is something for you to do when it comes to creating business here in the AV for AV Alta? Like, let me see how I can say this. Like, when it comes to business, creating business in the Antelope Valley so that people can, join AV Alta. Like, what's your goal or what's your idea on that?
I need some more explanation.
So okay, so this is obviously a business, mm-hmm. right? It's a business. In order to attract, sponsors, mm-hmm. what is it that you think AV Alta, the whole team, needs to provide for them to come and join the team?
I think for us, we just need to be authentic and like, I think we need to show the community that we're with them, you know? And I think if the community sees themselves in our posts and all of our content and what we're doing, and at the end of the day, like our mission is always to increase civic pride and give opportunity to the youth. Like at our core, all of us in that front office, that's what we want. We want the youth to win. Like at the end of the day, that's what it is for. It's for like my nephew who's, 11 years old, that he can have a path to play pro. And I think if we can translate that message and show people that we're really genuine about that, and that's really why we're here, I hope that businesses would want to, help out and be a part of it, and know that at our core, every one of our front office people knows that this is for that kid that is in the AV, and that's really truly what we're doing it for. Like, yeah, we're gonna like give other pro players and whatever, but this is for our city, and this is an opportunity and hopefully a vehicle that people can use to launch their careers, not only in playing football, but on us on the creative side. Like, how many kids in high school who are making merch that I have the opportunity that I could be like, yo guys, like we're doing a contest and let's do like merch and let's all collab, and then they can have that they design merch for a professional team on their resume, or right. All the photographers or the designers. So I think the best thing that we can do is show our authenticity, and hopefully the businesses can buy in and support.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. When it comes to sports, right, I know you said you played soccer. What's like your all-time favorite soccer team? And who's your GOAT when it comes to soccer?
For me, my all-time favorite team is Barcelona. I feel like they are just like such a class team, and they have done something so amazing in Spain, and they have an academy program similar to, like, I think everybody in the entire world, when they think of their academy, they want to make something like Barcelona's academy. Mm-hmm. They create monsters on monsters, but it's like a way of life. It's about developing as a human, being the best version of yourself, and it's more than just football. It's developing these good humans, and yeah, football is important, but touching all these other areas so that they're just the best versions of themselves. And I think that their style, the way they play, it's just the best. They have the best passing, the best control. They control the game. They don't get nervous, playing it in the back. And I just think, for me, if I had a team, I would adopt that same style. And because of that, my GOAT has to be Messi, because he played on Barcelona. And then he was one of those kids from when he was like 12, 11, and he developed in there. And his team, actually, that he played on in Barcelona, like 5 or 6 of the starters were all Barcelona Academy kids at one time. So they had been playing for like 10, 12 years. Right. So then when they get pro, it's like, it's crazy. When I was playing on that team with Robert Caste and like all these other guys, it's like this feeling, what he's going to be doing. So it's like, I know that if I could just turn and hit the ball over there, and my player, he's going to be there. Right. So I think that connectivity is so cool, and how they kind of harbor that into a program and can build that into a curriculum and show kids how to just be the best versions of themselves.
When it comes to music, right? Let's say back in high school when you were playing, before you hit the soccer field, what are you listening to?
Dang, at that time, Travis Scott and like the Migos were just popping. Travis Scott had just dropped like Days Before Rodeo, and Migos were just like dropping their first tapes, and I think I was just heavy in Atlanta trap, like Young Thug, all of that. I think I was so absorbed into it. And like I've told you before, I'm a big hip hop head. Like, it's the number one genre. And as a kid, I feel like it raised me. And the way I dress, the way I talk is just.
Did your parents listen to hip hop? How old are your parents?
My parents are 63.
Oh, okay. A little bit older than.
Older, but like my mom's favorite song is like Regulators by Warren G. Shit. And like my sister is like the GOAT for me. She has always been the fly. She always had the Von Dutch She
Older
had
than
like
you?
the swag. She's
Okay.
older. Yeah. She's 42.
Okay.
And she would drive me to school, and she's bumping Kanye. I'm in her room, like watching MTV Jams and watching all the things. So like, when I think about my childhood, it's all hip hop. Like me sitting in the car with her, and I was like a little radio. They would say like I would just any song on the radio, I just knew all the words. I knew all the words.
Yeah.
So I felt like it's always been a really important piece in my life, and because of it, I feel like I always find myself like going into like, oh, I'm gonna listen to Biggie and West Coast, and I like dive in and listen big. But at that time, it was like all Atlanta hip hop stuff. But I was still listening to Kendrick and all of TDE because they were popping at that time too, and ASAP Mob was coming up at that time too.
And doesn't like music do something to you, like right before a game, like right before you're gonna do something, or like even now, like I'm pretty sure when you're in front of the computer creating and you got that music going, like doesn't that do something? Like you're like, damn,
it's crazy. Like I just literally a couple days ago went to go watch the Lego Pharrell movie, and just seeing the way that music has changed his life and inspires him. And after I got out of there, I was like, nerd, all the Pharrell, all like my whole entire week producing this jersey thing was just like Rockstar by Nerd and Lap Dance and all these songs, you know. And I'm just like, it's crazy. The music could really help. It's like a soundtrack to your life.
Yeah. When it comes to movies, right? Can you give me like your top, like your favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie
and why?
I think for me is Step Brothers. I love Step Brothers. That's like I don't really like to rewatch movies, but I feel like that's the one movie that I could rewatch anytime, and it just makes me laugh. And it just like, this is so stupid. I love it.
That's crazy. That was a crazy answer. Yo, when it comes to art and design, right? How do you find yourself getting into a zone when you're about to design? You have a project that you have to complete. Like, how do you get in that zone?
I think for me, when I'm getting ready to design and I'm trying to get creative, just before that, like I have to create some type of mood board or something. And like I said, when I'm making the mood board, I'm playing music, and I'm like, what is the vibe I'm trying to feel? Like, and I put a song on, and a lot of my creative inspiration comes from me playing music and then closing my eyes and like visualizing if I was directing a music video or like doing something to the song or like choreographing a dance or like doing something. So I feel like music a lot of the time is the springboard for my creative ideas, and then listening to it or putting myself in an environment gives me some inspo, and I'm like, oh man, like, what if it's something like this or from this music video I saw, and it like I could do something like that, and then my brain goes a million miles per hour.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yo, that was the 5 elements. Yo, I know you recently got married.
Yes, yeah.
How's that going?
It's going good.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I talked to you about it before too. Like I've been with my wife now for 12 years. So since being at Court Hill, a little sophomore, we started dating in 2013, and she's just been along the ride the entire time. And she's like my number one supporter. I feel like I wouldn't be here without her for sure. She's everything I'm not, and I feel like she's every good man has like a good woman behind them, and she's for sure that's the one.
What's up? Did you guys go anywhere on your honeymoon?
Not yet. We want to go like somewhere tropical, but we haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Where did you go on yours?
We didn't.
No,
we got married, and we ended up going to Puerto Rico. We kind of did the same thing. Like we waited. We got, you know what's crazy? A crazy story. Like I'm a big sneaker guy, right? Mm-hmm. When I got married, I had a sneaker collection, and my wife wanted to get married at the golf course, like have this big ass wedding, all this shit, right? And I'm like, fuck, man, like, all right. I sold my collection.
Damn.
I sold my sneaker collection, and I had some dope shit, man. And I sold it for us in order for us to get married, you know. And the part that sucks is that I should have stood my ground because I wanted to wear the Jordan 11s.
Oh, yeah.
And she made me wear like whatever, like the dress shoes, because she was like, man, my grandparents are going to be there. Your mom's going to be there. And like, what are they going to say? Like, and I should have just done it. You know, I should have just done it, but I didn't. So that's the one thing I regret. But I'm happy you joined the club, man. You got kids?
No.
Kids, are kids even a topic?
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I feel like we just had the wedding. So everyone's like, oh, when's the kids? When the kids? But I feel like my mom had kids pretty young, and she's instilled in me like, yo, like, wait until you're ready and wait, go on the vacations and do the things that you can like now. Because I just feel like from her experience, she felt like.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
26.
27.
Okay.
I'm in a couple days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm probably like around 30. I want to have some kids. But even then, I feel like I think about the version of Wesley 2 years ago, and I'm like, what was I on? Like, I feel I owe it to my kids. And every year that passes, I'm like a better version of myself. Yeah. And I want to give them the best version.
You just can't wait that long.
No. Because I know
I did it at 30.
I
did it at 30.
Yeah.
I still feel like I'm young enough to like hang out, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's what's up, man. I'm you know, welcome to the club.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you having me here. I feel like this is such a cool opportunity.
Yeah, man. I knew I had to get you guys on here, especially like, you know, I already knew about you guys during season 1, but I wanted it to be a little more developed. Mm-hmm. You know, I wanted, you know, for us to see some of the merch, talk about the stadium and all that. You know, I don't know if you know Blinky. She works over at at Poppy, and she's the Ayo Ness girl. I had her on the last episode.
Yeah.
This is that part of the show. It's called Ayo Ness. I get to flip the mic to you. Okay. You get to ask me a question, and then I'll answer it, you know, as I do.
Okay. I feel, first off, before I start the question, I just want to say, kind of tying back to like what Panchito was saying in my quote of like, you can't be what you can't see. Like, I feel like in this creative world, I never met like another Salvadorian dude, like who's so similar to me, you know? So I feel like I appreciate you being that person that like I needed to see to be able to like be like, no, like, I can do that. You know, he's literally like doing everything I want to do. So first, I just want to say I appreciate you for that.
No doubt, man.
And with that, I want to know like what to you, like, what is that creative moment that, like we're saying, seeing the production of something go all the way through? Like, what is that thing you made or that project or design or merch that you felt like when that hit, you were like, dang, this is what I could do. Like, this is I can actually do this.
There's been a couple of moments like that for me. But the one that really kind of like catapult me, like took me from here to like boom to like a next level. You know, I went through a bad business breakup back in 2013. I had this other brand, Freshness. I had a partner. We fell off. It was all bad, bro. Like I told you, we had the store here on the boulevard. We had to shut it down, shut down the Freshness. Like we went from doing over $1 million to doing, you know, nothing, right? It was all bad. So then I came up, like, at that time, like, I almost quit. I almost said, you know what, I'm just going to go work 9 to 5. Like, this is not for me. Like, I almost called it quits. But I found, like, somehow I came up with this name, Retro Kings, and I loved it. I was like, man, it sounds dope. I like it. And I love it. So I started developing, you know, art for it without selling any merch. I was doing art. But going back, the one, you know, it made me think about the first time that I ever created something and people gravitated to it, right? And it was back in like 2006, 2007. It was during like Kanye's first album. I'm designing, and I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan, Jordan fan. And I'm listening to his album, and I know he's from Chicago. And remember, he used to wear those shutter shades?
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, bro, it was so easy of a design. And and I got a cease and desist for it later on, but whatever. But all I did was I took the Chicago Bull and I put the shutter shades on top of the eyes. So then it was like a mix of Kanye and the Chicago Bulls, him being from Chicago. And then I just put Chicago's Finest underneath in like some kind of script. And I posted. And back then, like you were able to post on like Hypebeast, like the
blog or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like the blog, or not even the blog. It was kind of like the thread, or I forgot what it's called. But so I posted on there, and then people were like, "Yo, that shit's dope," and it kind of like how the whole thing happened with your, with your product, and yeah, and then Karmaloop saw it, and they were like, "Yo," like the dude that was running Karmaloop, he hits me up, and he's like, "Yo, we need to sell this on the site. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna sell." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." And I had like a dozen T-shirts printed, and we set up the account. And then the first day I sell like 10. I'm like, damn. The next day I sell like 15. The next day I sell 20. Next day I sell 50. So I'm like already in the hole. But it was such a great feeling. Like it was pressure because now I had to go produce. But it was like, bro, like it gives me goosebumps. Like just thinking about it, like how much like it inspired me to keep going. Like I gotta keep designing. And a lot of times that's all it takes is that one piece of art that you create that just takes you like to a different level, and then it just inspires you to keep creating. So for me, it was that, and then later on, being able to see my tees on, celebrities. And I'm not a big fan of like celebrities rocking my stuff because I know they'll wear it one time, they toss it, and then being able to see people, just regular people like you and I, at Disneyland, at the airport, we're at the swap meet, wherever you go, bro, like being able to see people, someone that went on your website and bought that shirt, or whatever, that hoodie. And then too, like, seeing your stuff bootlegged. I know a lot of people like, yo, how do you feel about that? And in the beginning, I was like, yo, that's fucked up. Like, but now I'm like, I must be doing something right. Yeah. If these guys are trying to bootleg my designs, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, there's a few, and then obviously the whole chic thing, like, having I got family like in Las Vegas, and they go to the Chics out there, and they're like, "Oh, uncle, is this your shirt, right? This is your shirt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's mine." And then they just feel proud knowing that their uncle, or just any like a follower on Instagram, like, "Yo, bro, look, I'm at Chic, bro. They got your shit up in Chic," like that. So there's been a few, but the first one was that Chicago Bulls one, man. Like that really kind of took me, like I was like, damn, like I need to keep designing, So yeah, man. And like for you too, like when it comes to, AV Alta, I think it's gonna happen. You're gonna create that one piece. And a lot of times we don't even think it's gonna be it. You just created something, but it's gonna take off, and then you're just gonna feel proud, like, damn, like everybody's rocking with this design, But it's gonna happen, man. But yeah, that was me in a nutshell, man. When it comes to design, bro.
That's crazy. When you said Karmaloop, I feel like that gave me so much nostalgia, like being on there. And
yeah, man.
Trying to buy like the Shiznit and Streetwise and all these brands.
I designed for like, Streetwise now too.
Like because my brother was into being a youngin, like on there, just looking at all of the clothes and wanting all the LRG and like, like, bro, just fiending. I wish I could just buy everything on Karmaloop.
Yeah. You ever been to like the trade shows?
Nah.
Yeah, that's another feeling too. Like you get the same thing. Like you're at a trade show and you have, stores coming to your booth. Like, cause what they saw while they were, you're competing against 150 other brands, And some of these brands got, 20 by 20 booths. You're over there just in a little 10 by 10, but somehow they ended up in your booth, and somehow they placed these orders with you. Yeah. It's like the ultimate feeling, man. We're coming to an end. Before we do though, just let them know, let the viewers know, let the listener know, how they could get a hold of you, how they can follow AV Alta. Maybe they want to be part of the supporter group. Just let them know, man, and we'll be out.
Yeah, so if you want to follow AV Alta, our at AV Alta FC on everything, on IG, Twitter, and all the socials. It's AVA Alta FC. And then yeah, we have a supporters group too who've been, like I said, the heartbeat of our club, and they're always trying to recruit. They always want more members. You can follow them at the 661 supporters group on Instagram, and just send them a DM. They have practices every week and go out there and chant. They're building a dope community of people, and they're just, so passionate. I feel like it's such a cool thing, and a lot of people out here in the AV don't have that like group or community or any, something extra to do. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to get in the ground floor and then go to the games together and just, build a cool community. And then for me, if you guys want to follow me on IG, it's Wesley F Baby 661.
That's what's up. And then too, like you got the 661.
Yeah, the 661 shop. We've took a little pause just because of like all the AV Alta stuff, and it's been crazy. But hopefully in the near future we can drop some more stuff and do some more collabs.
That's what's up, man. Well, hey, man, listen, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate
We're going to have to get you guys back on later on when the season opens. We'll get Panchito in here. Appreciate you, man.
No,
thank you, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. This was lit.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Thank you, guys. Season 2 is coming to an end. We're going to take a little break, a few weeks off. We're going to start season 3 soon. And then, we'll get it cracking, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Peace.